What's up, Wildcats? I'm Sage, and you're watching me talk to myself. In my pursuit of feeding my nostalgia demons, I rewatched a movie starring my second favorite cousin, Troy Bolton. When I was a kid, I was really obsessed with Disney Channel original movies. I couldn't tell you why. I stayed up late at night watching the reruns of them, especially the 13th year, but we'll talk about her another time. I was also really obsessed with high schoolers. It was a weird fascination. I wanted to be one so bad, and then when I got there, it was the fucking worst, but we won't talk about it. Anyways, back to the film. High School Musical was released on Disney Channel in January of 2006, I want to say, and had over 7 million views when it did, which meant 7 million people had to have TVs with cable that had the Disney Channel package, which is crazy. I was one of those people, so I watched it the day it premiered in 2007. It's got a Rotten Tomato score of 67%, and I think like a 5 out of 10 on IMDb, which is crazy because it's the best movie ever made. So it's the first of a trilogy, which is High School Musical 2, where I guess they send a posse of teenagers to take over a golf club, and High School Musical 3 Senior Year, which was the first and last of the three to get a theatrical release. And best believe I was sat in that fucking theater with my dad making him watch High School Musical 3. It's bad. It's one of the most recognizable movies from the early 2000s, especially from Disney, I want to say. It launched many a career into the stratosphere and also proved to us that you can play basketball and wear a sparkly little outfit on stage at the same time. Wikipedia says it's a modern retelling of Romeo and Juliet, which is true, but I also think it's gay, or specifically bisexual, really, if you think about it. So the movie was directed by living legend Kenny Ortega, who is responsible for so many other things. Like I think he directed Hocus Pocus, and he definitely choreographed for Dirty Dancing and worked on a bunch of other movies. I think he directed To Wong Fu, or choreographed it at least, and a bunch of other stuff you've definitely heard of. I just can't remember the name for it. Ortega is also a gay man who was born in the US in 1950, which is arguably the best time to be a man in the US and the worst time to be gay in the US among all of the other times it sucked to be gay. His sexuality obviously informed his work, lots of the projects he chose, how everyone was portrayed in these films, and I think the most obvious example is High School Musical. I will not be hearing any feedback about that, actually. So everyone, let's put our bisexual goggles on and press play on one of the most important pieces of children's media from this century. We start off at a New Year's Eve party at a ski lodge in Utah, which is not a place I knew people vacationed, I'm not gonna lie. And until I rewatched this movie, I don't think I could have identified Utah on a map. I am very sorry to the 3.5 million people in Utah. That's the population. I looked it up. So we follow our main character, Troy. He's playing basketball on vacation because what else is there to do if you're a teenage boy who's the captain of the basketball team? And of course, their mom has to come in and be a party pooper and say, stop playing basketball. We got to go to this party and have fun. So they show up to this New Year's Eve party at like 11 o'clock, by the way. late, you're late. They show up at like, they show up to this New Year's Eve party at 11:55, and Troy is forced to sing a karaoke duet with this random really pretty girl named Gabriella, which we will find out later. Troy's forced to sing a duet with Gabriella, and they actually shove him on stage, which is rude. Don't touch me. But it's fine, because Troy could sing, I guess. It's not Troy, it's Drew Seeley. Drew Seeley also was in every single movie where they needed a boy at this time in Disney. And I don't know why he didn't just play Troy, because he plays Troy in the stage musical, I'm pretty sure. I forgot about that. They took High School Musical on tour and they did a stage version of it. So, which actually features my favorite song. Anyways, Troy and Gabriella are on stage singing a very lovely duet to each other. This better not awaken anything in Troy, because he's an athlete. When the song is over, Troy is devastated because he's never going to see this pretty girl again, and he asks for her number, and I guess she didn't put her name in it, or the rest of her number, I can't remember. But he's So sad. He's never going to see her again because they met at the ski lodge in Utah and he lives in New Mexico. Extremely loud, incorrect buzzer. Gabriella has actually moved to his town on his block in his house and goes to his school. Gabriella has transferred to East High. On her first day, our main girl, Gabriella, is looking for a club to join. Maybe the singing awoke something in her too, and she's gonna sign up for drama club. Wrong again. Sharpay, the biggest, pinkest diva, and the reason I dyed my hair blonde, is not having it. And she tells the decathlon captain, a smaller, less pink diva, Taylor, about how big and sexy-brained Gabriella is. And they're plotting. And also, I didn't know what decathlon was until I watched this. I also didn't know it was spelled without a second A. It's decathlon. It's crazy. While these two girls are girl bossing and manipulating the narrative, Troy is at practice, missing his shots because he's yearning. Not only yearning for a girl, but yearning for singing with her on stage, and that's wrong. Troy misses dancing around on stage with his little girlfriend so bad that it's impacting his performance, and his boys are starting to notice, and they're pissed. Troy is now a changed man. And now, this isn't really the point, but I want to say that the seemingly heteronormative positions that our leads find themselves in, you know, Troy being surrounded by other sport ball players and Gabriella being the freakiest of genius girls, is actually kind of gay. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you know, he's surrounded by men who only want him to be with other men who perform masculine things together, and they all get sweaty and run around and tell each other they're doing a good job. Gabriella's a little bit less there. She's surrounded by, of course, the classic 2000s sexless nerd boys who can't even fathom the idea of engaging with a woman that way, and so the only companionship she can find is with other smart girls. So she's hanging out with Taylor all the time, and that's her number one and her best friend, and they spend all of their time together because they're the only two who get each other. I think that's gay. Troy and Gabriella have a beautiful bisexual moment together and audition for the spring musicale, which is called Twinkletown, with an E at the end. That's ridiculous. We never actually see the musical, by the way. The whole fucking movie culminates in them auditioning, but we never see it. We never find out what it's about. They're painting the set, by the way. Why are you painting the set? You haven't even cast your people. You haven't cast anyone in the play. You're painting the set for detention, for punishment, but it's not spring yet. It's January. It's January, you're casting for the spring musical, you're already painting the set. You don't need to paint the set yet. And we never see the musical. And the movie ends, it's like March? Anyways, oh no, they're too late. They sat on their hands while Sharpay and Ryan auditioned, and the drama teacher's packing up her big monster purse and going home. So they have no chance of auditioning. But the pianist, Kelsey, sees them and agrees to, I guess, hang out in the auditorium and play piano for them while Miss Darbus leaves. So they sing together, and she is still packing up her big-ass monster purse and hears them and is like, that was pretty good. You can audition again in 3 weeks. The callback audition is immediately a problem because seasoned veterans Sharpay and Ryan are pissed. They thought they were going to get the lead. When Sharpay sees the list, she is so furious. And so is Chad, East High's biggest, fluffiest cloud bob wearer. And they also start plotting. Which, again, aren't you supposed to be these people's friends? Chad and Taylor start plotting on Troy and Gabriella. They both set up these big presentations on why kissing and singing together is the worst thing they could possibly be doing. Not because it's wrong to do that, but because they're not supposed to be a part of that group of people. And then they set up an ancient FaceTime call somehow that Gabriella and Troy don't notice, where Troy says to his team, and also technically to Gabriella through a fist-sized webcam, that he never loved her, she means nothing to him, he hates singing on stage with her, and he just wishes she would just die. Terrible friends, by the way. If your friends did this to you in high school, you should block them. And because of this call, Gabriella sulks into the hallway and sings the best song ever, where she strolls gently around the hallways of this school, I guess to justify filming in a school for an entire year. And they have a 40-foot tall poster of Troy with a basketball. How much are they investing in the basketball team? We don't even hear about any other sports from this school. No football, lacrosse. I don't know any other. Hockey. None of these sports are seen or heard from in this movie. It's just basketball, being smart, or singing. That's all you can do. While their friends were plotting, so were their enemies. Sharpay has convinced a literal adult teacher who set up the callbacks specifically so two different couples could audition for the lead roles to move it to the one day that only one pair can audition, which is ridiculous. The callback auditions are now the day of the big game and also the decathlon competition, which I think realistically would never be on the same day at the same time. Taylor and Chad feel bad watching their friends sulk around and help them make their audition by running a code from the decathlon room into the auditorium that makes the scoreboard shit its pants and like spark everywhere, and then the power goes out, and it's so bad that they evacuate the auditorium. And then they also make just like a big stinky fart potion in the decathlon that stinks so bad everyone also has to leave that room. It's crazy. So with nothing to do, literally 256 people chase Troy and Gabriella to the auditorium to watch them do their callback audition. And they get up on stage, and Gabriella's fucking nervous, even though we planned for this the whole time. The whole movie has been you planning to do this, and now you're fucking nervous. You weren't nervous any other time. And also, Troy is still in his basketball uniform, fucking sweaty, getting all close up on Gabriella, trying to make her feel better. I would be so pissed off if you don't back away from me, sticky boy. Oh my god. Anyways, they sing, again, one of the most amazing songs ever made, Breaking Free. And it's so good, and they get the lead roles, and they win the championship game, and the decathlon. A day of wins for Romeo and Juliet, which is better than the original ending. After a lovely and definitely sober rewatch, I think this is the most bisexual movie I've ever seen. Gabriella and Troy are obviously a straight couple, but their friends want them to behave a certain way publicly, not because there's a true hatred for Troy and Gabriella together or what they do, but because it's wrong. It's wrong to move outside of your social standing and your social group to join another because you can't do both. Not because you can't do something else. You can't do both at the same time. Sticking to the status quo is definitely about behaving a certain way, maintaining your understanding of the world through cliques, social hierarchy, separation, whatnot. And doing each thing individually really isn't seen as wrong. It's just the crossover. I mean, Ryan's a boy who does drama. That's not really a big deal. They make fun of him for being stupid, but they don't call him gay or anything derogatory like that. The true issue is crossing into different categories or sexualities. You could view the status quo as heterosexuality or the relationship between Troy and the basketball team and Gabriella and Taylor as homosexuality. Either way, joining the drama club, doing something that contradicts their already established roles at East High is the discovery of bisexuality. They can truly do both. There's lots more to read into, like Ryan and Chad's relationship in High School Musical 2, Sharpay and Gabriella's tsundere-style one-sided rivalry, or just how much Zeke loves to bake. But in my mind palace, East High is a school full of a bunch of queers, and the one straight-passing couple is ruining everything by monopolizing every single club that interests them. In all honesty, I'm just glad they didn't discover anything else about themselves at that ski resort, so I didn't have to watch an hour-and-a-half long movie about, like, anime club or student government. I don't know. Anyways, if you like this video, I like to talk about movies, I like to talk about design, I like to talk about lots of other stuff. You can recommend me movies and shows in my Google form in the description below. You can comment your favorite bisexual things about other movies or this one specifically. You can tell me that you think I'm stupid and wrong. I might not like it, but you are free to do so. Or you can tell me you liked the video and like and comment and subscribe. That's up to you though. And because of this call, if you saw the back of my head, no you didn't.